Early years is something we are proud to promote and develop within Marshalls, helping people start out in their career journey. We've spoken to some of our employees with apprenticeship experience to see how apprenticeships help them build knowledge and skills whilst also working at Marshalls.
My name's Pete Hallett and I'm the Group Training Director at Marshalls, and I did an apprenticeship a long time ago in mechanical engineering, which I did a time served thing for 6 or 7 years, so I loved it, absolutely great.
Hi, my name's Ross and I started as an apprentice at Marshalls in digital marketing.
So my name's Sophie and I'm currently completing my level 3 HR support apprenticeship. I work within the HR team as a learning and development internal communications coordinator.
Well, look, thanks guys for joining the video. As you know, apprenticeships are something that are very close to my heart. As you know, I started my career on one a long time ago, and I know how valuable it was to me in the early stages, and latterly actually gave me a very broad springboard for which to start my career. And the great thing about apprenticeships now is that they've changed enormously, so pretty much anybody can start them at any age, and that's why there's such a huge range of subjects that people can do, ranging from quite science-based subjects to management-based subjects. So it's a really great way of doing your career, starting your career and creating a springboard to go forwards. So Ross, tell me about your apprenticeship and why you chose it.
I first took an interest in apprenticeships when I first had to decide what to do after completing my A-levels. It was either go to university, go straight to work, or complete an apprenticeship. To help me decide at the time, I asked a lot of my teachers and family members about what they had their degree in, and I found that the majority had never actually used that degree in their chosen career, and I felt that for me, I'd rather spend my time in a subject that's more specific to the career I wanted. I did my research on apprenticeships and loved the idea of earning while learning and not just having that student debt that many of my friends are paying off and will be doing for a long time too.
Hey Ross, that's terrific, that's great. So what was it like completing your apprenticeship at Marshalls? Was it difficult? Was it time consuming? Tell me about it.
Well, it's been great. I've always had support from a manager who let me apply what I learned in my course in my job here, not just into my day-to-day role, but pitching new ideas for improvements as well. My manager also took time to show what we had actually learned being put into practice, so I wasn't just learning the theory, I was also being shown how effective it was and why we actually do it.
That's really interesting. So what's next for you then, Ross?
So following my apprenticeship, I was pretty lucky to be offered a permanent role at Marshalls, and now I'm studying a degree apprenticeship programme. I have a couple more years to go, but when I'm finished, I'll have a full degree in digital marketing, and from there, I can then decide what specific route in that subject I want to focus my career on.
So Sophie, unlike me, who started my apprenticeship as my first job, you were already working at Marshalls when you decided to do one. Can you tell me a little bit about how you chose to do that, why you chose to do that, and what it was like?
Yeah, so I started at Marshalls around 4 years ago as a commercial sales developer, and I did really enjoy that role. But after around 3 years, I felt I was ready to take on a new challenge. So a fantastic opportunity came up to join the HR team as an apprentice. I must admit at first I did have some doubts, as I always associated apprenticeships with school leavers, and I would say a lot of people make that mistake as well. So I decided to approach the hiring manager for an informal chat about the role and just to find out if it was for me or not. She soon put my mind at ease and reassured me that apprenticeships are practically for anybody.
Yeah, look, I mean, you're absolutely right, Sophie. I think a lot of people make that mistake that apprenticeships are only for people who leave school, but they're not. They're open to, as I said earlier, pretty much everybody. So what do you make of your apprenticeship so far?
So I started my apprenticeship back in March 2020, and I feel like I hit the ground running with it. The amount of experience I've gained so far is outstanding. I really enjoy the hands-on training aspect. I find it's the best way that I learn, and there's always an opportunity to learn and develop a new skill and then to put that into practice straight away. I've had fantastic support from my manager, my team, and also my tutor. So once I finish my apprenticeship and gain my qualification, similar to Ross, I can then decide what area of HR I'd like to explore and develop my skills even further.
Well, look, it's been great talking to you both. Apprenticeships are something in Marshalls that we're ultra proud of. We've got about 100 at the moment who are working on different qualifications across the business, and they're all supported by a training provider close to where they work and where they live. So, it's great to get the apprenticeship experience and support. I mean, ultimately, we want to develop a workforce that has skills to meet the customer and industry needs. As you know, it's one of the central pillars to our strategy. And so these apprenticeships are really, really good in that they support that strategy. Well, Sophie, Ross, I really appreciate you taking the time today, and all that's left for me to do is to thank you for both joining in. And it's great to hear your stories and experiences. Just one last question though before you go. I mean, would you really recommend an apprenticeship?
Absolutely. I've loved it. It's the best decision I've ever made for my career so far.
I definitely recommend an apprenticeship. You get great support and you can put what you learn into practice straight away.
That's great to hear. So thank you ever so much for joining. Take care, and the very, very best of luck in your future and in your future apprenticeships. That's superb. Well done, guys.
Thanks, Pete.
Cheers, Pete.